Aloha, everybody. Welcome to the Aloha Friday Marketing Jam Session. Tom Gaddis here, Nick Ponte on the line. We have a fantastic show lined up for you today. We're going to hang out. We're going to answer questions. We're going to talk local marketing. Who knows what else might happen? It's going to be a surprise to all of us. So I'm going to cue the intro.
Are you ready for the fastest 60 minutes of local marketing strategy, tactics, tips, and fun on planet Earth? It's now time. The moment you've been waiting for. After 167 agonizing hours, they've returned. Broadcasting live from their island retreats, smack dab in the middle of the Pacific Ocean, and now back for a brand new Sharks Live show. It's your hosts, the Offline Sharks, Tom Gaddis and Nick Ponte.
Woo, hear that crowd out there going crazy. I love it. Sorry we're running a few minutes behind. I was having technical difficulties. Freaking Google Chrome didn't want to open. And anyway, but what do you do in those situations? You just keep going, Nick. You just keep going. It's like my dear old mom used to. What's that?
Unless your Wi-Fi goes down.
Yeah, unless your Wi-Fi goes down. Yeah. Yeah. It's like my dear gray-haired mother tells me all the time, Tom, never let failure go to your head. It's advice that I live by, you know?
True.
Awesome.
True.
Aloha, everybody. I see people are coming on. Pop in the comments. Let us know you're here. Give us an aloha. It is Aloha Friday. For those of you that don't know, here on Maui, Aloha Friday is kind of a big deal, right? Get the weekend started.
Yep.
Yeah. Awesome. I don't see any comments coming in. It's the delay.
Yeah, no love today. It's probably because we started 5 minutes late.
Oh, here's some. I see. Oh, that's probably Cameron. Aloha, everyone. Yeah. What do we do when we can't see the comments? We just keep going. That's going to be the theme of today's show, Nick. Keep going. Yeah. Just keep going.
We'll just chat, just like, no one's hanging out with us anyway. We got a lot of stuff to talk about anyway.
Yeah. Hey, Richard, aloha.
What's up,
Cameron's
Richard?
Here. That's good. Jacqueline's here. That's awesome.
Here we go.
Yeah, maybe we'll shake it up today. Nick was just telling me before the show started, Nick gets a little bored when we do the formats the same over and over and over. He's always like, we need to change it up. I'm like,
we do.
People love the format.
They do, but it's tough.
Aloha, Paul. Yeah, we apparently we traded places. I don't know. StreamYard just did that. I'm at the home office today because I've been working on something new for you guys. So I've been spending more time here.
Do we still have all those checks here?
No, I deposited them.
Oh, you guys, we had I don't know who saw the stream last week? Was that last week? Where I had at the beginning of the stream, I had 8 or 9 checks that we had gotten.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, there was anyway, we've been working on something behind the scenes that has really been helping us out, to get more customers within our agency. So we've been really kind of scaling. Yeah, Patty was there. She saw the checks. Appreciate that, Patty. So yeah, we've been really, really working hard to kind of build that out and validate the concept and the process and what we're doing there. And super excited to be able to share that sometime soon. Mike Jennings has a sad face on the stream. Why so sad, Mike?
Uh-oh. Why? We'll see. One thing I forgot to mention to you, Nick, though, is I should come down to the office today because we need to do our weekly office huddle. We didn't do that yesterday. Yeah. Yep. Where does the time go?
We have an extra office guest over here. Look. Wait.
Who's there? Who's
Sloane's
that?
Here today. Sloane's here today.
Sloane. I couldn't see in the background. Hi, Sloane.
Oh, hi.
Miranda and I were just talking about you yesterday because Miranda was like, oh, Sloane should do some dance classes in the park by the gym because we were doing our morning walk out by there. She was like, Sloane should do some dance parks.
Yeah.
classes in the park. She misses it.
People might not be able to let their guard down in public, though.
Well, that may be true. Might get a little bit of an audience, right?
Right.
Awesome. Yeah. Oh, Mike said he didn't get the live notice. You know, tech stuff has been acting really weird this week. I don't know if anybody else out there has been noticing it, but like the phones have been weird. The internet's been weird.
Some serious gremlins.
Yes. That is the warden. That is the warden.
Yes, Lona's the warden.
There to keep Nick in line.
No, somebody's working at our house, so Sloane's studying for her nurse practitioner right now. So,
oh, nice. Yeah, Jandy says, "What? No Aloha Friday shirts?"
What's wrong with my shirt, Jandy?
I just got this shirt yesterday. I was like, "Oh, this is gonna be great for the live."
Where's Bill Marks when we need him?
Yeah, where is he? I've been ordering shirts like crazy. Got to keep my shirt game up in case I get called out.
Bill Marks was the king of. Let's play the game. What shirt is Tom wearing this week?
Yeah, exactly. Well, awesome. Look, we're really glad you guys are here. Sorry for the little bit of a late start. We do have an awesome Aloha Friday Marketing Jam session lined up for you. We got our show notes pulled up. We always like to start these off with a little bit of chit chat, and then recognizing the people in the shark community that are taking some action and getting some results. We call them shark shout outs, and we have a few great shark shout outs today. So I am going to pull up that post. I see some familiar places, some familiar faces. So that's good. Hold on, let me share my screen here. Share screen.
What's up, Frank?
Here we go. All right, here's our shout out post. So here's what we've been doing lately. So we put this in the Facebook group right before we went live. So this is in the main Offline Sharks Facebook group. So if you guys could go there, comment, leave some love, show your support for the Sharks and the shout outs. And more importantly, make sure throughout the week you're celebrating your wins, your wins, even your struggles, whatever. Just post them in the Facebook group so we can give some shout out love to you guys too. We love to see all that stuff in the interaction. So I know this looks kind of small. I don't know if I can make it any bigger. Nope, it's not going to let me make it any bigger. All right. So,
and you know what I've been doing lately, you guys, which I think we should do on this one too, because on all these live sessions, we also do give away some Cash App money, so if you guys could go and comment on that post in the group right now and what we'll do is towards the end of the stream, we'll pick a comment at random, somebody that goes there and comments at random, and send you some Cash App money by the end of the day.
Yeah. Always nice to get some free money, right? Always nice to get some free
Lunch
money.
is on us.
That's right. Maybe you should get, if you guys saw the taco place that's right by the office. Oh man, so good, isn't it, Nick?
Go there like every day. Regular.
Yeah. It's pretty awesome. All right. Well, let's get to these shout outs. So our first shout out goes to David B. Wright. So David, this was really awesome to see. So his company is ranked by experts in their top picks for best social media marketing agencies in Atlanta for the second year in a row, which is awesome to see. We've talked about this before on a live show, right? Like getting some of that third-party proof that those extracurricular things like you did with the Hawaii Business Award, those types of things. Like there's a lot of stuff of that around in your local area. And a lot of times it's just a matter of either you or someone nominating you to be in the running, right? And even if you don't win those awards, even if you don't win them, like you can say nominated, right? You can say, hey, we were nominated for one of the best of whatever. And a really great thing to be able to put in your marketing and promotional materials to build some credibility and authority. So David, man, congratulations. That's really awesome. I know Atlanta is a I mean, that's not a non-competitive market, right? So that's really awesome that you guys are up there, and 2 years in a row. I mean, amazing. Way to go, man. Yeah, our next shout out goes to Jocelyn Wing. Jocelyn closed a new website client. It was a $2,500 build out, and then she's charging $500 monthly. Love the recurring revenue. She already added about 25K to her business this year. Just in the 2 months that we've been going into this year. That just should let everyone know again. If you don't already know from coming on these live shows and hanging out on the Offline Sharks group, like now is a great time to be doing what we're doing. There's a lot of opportunity out there. Just got to get out there and get in the game, right? So she's added about 25K to her business this year. She has 30 new leads through her AGM site. 6 of them don't even have a website. So just by going through the AGM process and adding people to her site and looking at what they're doing, she noticed, a lot of them didn't have websites, right? And then 2 are brand new businesses that are going to be opening next month. Awesome work, Jocelyn.
That's incredible. That's a short amount of time to generate $25,000, only 2 months. That's pretty incredible. And she's not the only one this week.
I know she's not the only one, because our next shout out goes to Mark Bustamante. I love that last name, Bustamante. I was like, oh, what a good last name. So much better than Gaddis, Bustamante. Like, it just sounds good. It was like the guy like Bones in our group. His first name was like Bones. Man, what a great first name. Anyway, Mark signed up for AGM about 6 months ago, right? So he jumped in on the AGM program. And since then, he's generated about 25K in revenue. And he made a great post in the Facebook group about it, talking about, jumping in and doing all that and taking action. So way to go, Mark.
Nicely done.
Awesome to see. Awesome to see. And our final shout out for today goes to the man, Frank the Tank. Frank the Tank. Yeah, he's here. Always here. I love seeing Frank. Frank went in with the foot in the door strategy, ended with a client for $997 website redesign and a customer reactivation campaign, which is $397 per month and that starts next month. So, I know we've mentioned this too on these live shows before, but these customer reactivation campaigns, for those of you that don't know what those are, right? Basically what you do is you go to a business and you get their existing list of customers. And ideally what you're looking for are people that have done business with them before, but haven't done business with them in a while, right? Maybe 60, 90 days, 6 months, whatever it is. If they can separate that so that you know who the active customers are and who their the customers that have done some business with them but haven't been in a while, then you basically run a campaign targeting those people to bring them back in. So you can do lots of different things, right? You can do digital stuff targeting them. You could send emails to them, or you could do a good old traditional direct mail letter to those people to entice them back into the business. And one of the reasons this is such a great strategy is because typically if someone has done business with a business before, they're more likely to do it again, right? Like, it's a lot easier to get those people to come back than it is to generate new customers for the business. And so that's why we call this like a quick win strategy. And it's one that a lot of people overlook, especially the business owners, because they're always so, and this is just natural, right? Like, we do this too. It's just natural to want to bring in new customers. And sometimes you're so focused on the new customers, you forget about that low-hanging fruit that's out there, people that have done business with you before that you could bring back into the fold. And it's typically a quick win and a really fast way to show a client that you can generate results for them, right? And a lot of times it's significantly less expensive to bring those people back than it is to acquire a new customer. So those are all, selling points you can use when talking to potential clients. And if they have an email list set up, you can use that. If they don't, no worries. Like, you could always do just a straight direct mail thing, send a postcard, a letter, anything like that. And it doesn't have to be to a big list, right? Like, you could just do that for 100 people or 50 people or whatever. and it typically shows really good results for them. So way to take action on that strategy, Frank. It's really great to see that.
Yeah, great job, Frank. And both Frank and Mark are here with us. So congrats, guys.
Yeah, awesome. Here's a big round of applause for everyone in the Shark shout outs. Really excited to see that. And again, make sure you guys that are watching this right now, head over there, make a comment, let them know. Congratulations, put your words in there. And then over the course of the day, we're going to be giving out some Cash App money to people that commented on that post.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, awesome. All right, I'm going to stop sharing my screen here. Let me pull up the show notes. Because what do we want to talk about next, Nick?
Well, we were talking about in the Facebook group, we made a post for this live about having an escape plan, right? Did you?
Oh, yes, being prepared.
Yeah, being prepared, I mean, there are a lot of things that could go wrong in your business, right? Like a lot of us, and we were talking about in our private, our coaching class yesterday about having your only recurring residual client canceling, right? So maybe that's like the main lifeline of revenue for your business each month, or that's the predictable revenue. Well, that would suck, or if you have somebody that's helping you, like an employee or an outsourcer to help you build all your websites, and maybe they disappear and they go dark on you. Like that would be horrible. Like how would you continue? Right? Or what if you have some sort of legal action happen? There's a lot of risk for somebody to start a business. It's a reason why most people probably don't start a business, because there's risk involved, right? Being an entrepreneur, there's risk involved because you're betting on yourself to be able to provide and solve a problem so that you can provide for yourself and your family, or whoever else is in your life. So you have to, I think, as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, somebody who's self-reliant in terms of their finances. I mean, you have to, figure out ways to manage the risk, right? That's the biggest thing that I could probably stress about that is managing the risk. And, it's a super valuable skill. And, one way that you could manage the risk in terms of, like, let's say your number one all-star employee leaves or out. Let's say you have because a lot of you I know have like web developers, right? Who here has somebody on their team that's like working overseas? Put a 1 in the comments if you guys have somebody in your team is working overseas, or put a 2 in the comments if you have somebody that's in your house or in your office, like an employee working with you. So one way that you could split the risk or manage the risk with, let's see, Gabriel says 1. So outsourcer. One way you could do that is by perhaps hiring another one, or maybe not hiring another one, but having 2 or 3 other people on your team, or that or contacts ready to go should you need somebody else. Like if you have a number 1, maybe you should start looking for a number 2, and not giving them the same amount of work, maybe just a little bit of work, so that you can slowly bring them up to speed too, just in case your number 1 gets sick, or you get a lot more clients, right? Maybe nobody has to leave. Maybe you just get tons more work. Like what would you do then?
Yeah, I think those are all good points. And those things that you talk about with entrepreneurship being a risk and taking the risk, that's why you should never feel bad about the profits you make, because it is a risk. And the profits that you make, if you're successful, right? If you're successful and you do all the things right, and maybe along the way get a little bit lucky, the profits are your reward for that, right? There's no guarantee that you're going to be successful, or that you're going to be as successful as you want to be. So, never feel bad about making money when you're the one taking all the risks to do that, especially if you start to get successful and people start to, kind of look at you differently, right? Like, that's okay. Like, you took the risk. That's your reward for doing that. And even if, like Nick said, even if it's not bringing somebody on, definitely having some people that you've at least started initial conversation with, that you've maybe vetted and know that you could go to them and just have them in your Rolodex is really, really a great strategy. Even, you don't necessarily have to bring them on or give them work, but you could start looking for somebody, vetting them, and just basically telling them right up front, like, hey, look, I don't have work right now, but I'm expecting to down the road, or, something might come up and I want to make sure I have somebody that can handle that. And most people that we talk to like that are super understanding, and they're good with that, right? Like, they're excited to be able to get to work at some point.
Yeah, that's a good point. You guys, does anybody have, and this kind of brings up a great topic, which is one that always, when I'm thinking about the risk in my business and I'm trying to get ahead of it, because that's what I like to do. I like to get like super paranoid and think about things that aren't even going to happen, haven't happened, but my gears start spinning, right? And I think about, well, what if the apocalypse happens, right? Or what if there's a pandemic, or what if the snowpocalypse happens? Like, how do we prepare? What do we do? And for business, it's always a single point of failure. Does anybody know what a single point of failure is? Maybe you guys, if you have a good example of a single point of failure in your business, you can share that with me. For us, it's, a great example would be, and by the way, I think about these single points of failure and try to figure out how to make them not a single point, right? Like, figure out ways to not have that bottleneck. So an example could be like, let's say your business runs 100% on getting new customers from paid advertising on Facebook. Well, what if, and this probably isn't going to happen to anybody, has never happened to anybody, but what if one day Facebook just decides to turn off your ad account for no reason? Then what? Then how are you paying the bills? How are you bringing in new customers? How are you bringing in the revenue streams? So to manage that risk, while you are running and operating your business and you're rolling along and you're getting customers through Facebook, it's good to do a check-in with like these areas of your business and say, wow, if Facebook were to get shut off or turn off my ad account, what would I do? Maybe I should put 10% of my time in building an email list, or acquiring customers through YouTube or through some other platform or channel. That way, just in case, we're not saying it's going to happen, but it could. And this, 2020 was full of black swan type events that did happen for a lot of people, industries, and businesses. That way you're ready, right? A lot of people, Tom and I both hear about this a lot from other internet marketers and people that are in the online space about different things happening to them, these single point of failures, like their PayPal account getting shut off, right? Like, now you can't even accept incoming payments as an online internet marketer. Like, that would suck, right? Your business is done. And it's important to, take that information, be aware of what's happening out there so you can prepare your business and not be scared. I'm not talking about living in fear, but being prepared.
Yeah, there's a difference there. And by the way, for anyone who's watching this and maybe might not have heard the term black swan event before, just so you guys know, that comes from a book by Nassim Taleb called The Black Swan. And I hear a lot of people use that term and not use it the way he intended it. Because a black swan event is something that there's no recovery from. No, you didn't mess it up. You are absolutely right. Your example of the Facebook account getting shut down would be a black swan event, because it's the end. There's no, it's the end of your business. The example he uses in his book and a lot of his books is, it's like playing Russian roulette, right? Like, Russian roulette is a thing where, yeah, your odds in the beginning may be really high for success, but at some point it's game over completely, right? Like, there's no recovery from it. There's no recovery at all from that game, when you hit that one step. So that's really what the black swan event is. It's that thing that there's no recovery from, right? So understanding that and being prepared for it is super critical. And I think the other point you made is really also important to remember, because we talk to a lot of people in our private coaching program, and a lot of people, that we bring into the company to do things. And, I don't know if I know this is my tendency. This is how I am when I'm looking to do something. And before I take action, like, I'm trying to figure out all the things that can go wrong. I'm like making up all these scenarios that could happen. And what about this? And what about that? That's different from what we're talking about, because that can paralyze you and you end up not taking action. Right. So, stressing about like, oh, well, if I start reaching out to businesses, what if this and what if that? Like, it's a different scenario, because what you should do is start reaching out to businesses. And if those things come up, then you address them. I hope that makes sense, because I know it's I think kind of a fine line, right? So, you want to be aware of what the things are that can go really wrong and be prepared to handle those. But you also have to be aware of times when you're just making problems up for yourself that don't exist and probably never will exist. And, through experience, I've been through so many of those situations where I have fretted, racked my brain, spent so much time because of something I thought was going to happen, or I had to get this right, and then when I finally launched the thing and was doing it, it was never even an issue. Or even worse, you spend all this time racking your brain to come up with the perfect name, to do this, to do that. And then you launch it and you're actually doing it, and you realize like that's not the right thing, and you change it. And it's like you spent all this time in the beginning worried about finding the right thing, when actually when you start doing it, you get more information. Like, the information you get from doing is way more important than the information you're just thinking about before you get started. Does that make sense, Nick?
Yeah, that makes total sense. And I think Mark had a great point. He said that's why he has a reserve parachute. And I think for anybody that, well, when I first started like planning on leaving my job to go off on my own, right? The very first thing that I did was try to save up some money so I could pay all of my overhead, all my expenses, my rent, basically my rent and the different things that I had to pay, 2-3 months ahead of time, so that I could go all in on this new source of income or this new journey, which was entrepreneurship and starting a business. But having that little nest egg ahead of time, it really allows you to make, and I talked about this the other day, decisions based off of like what's probably best for your business, and not some short-term decisions. For example, taking on clients that could be toxic just because you need the money. Like, if you have that little nest egg or reserve parachute, I think that's the type of reserve parachute that Mark's referring to, but it could also be that he has some other business or some other things going on that could help him out. But for me, when I first started, it was really just having a little bit of some extra reserves, some income that I could use should I not have a good month in the initial beginning. So that definitely is a big one. And then as you grow and scale, like, there are other reserve type parachutes that you could implement and have in your business that might help you with, because as you grow and as you scale, you just have different things that come into your business, and you have different single points of failure, and you have different, potential risks that could come up.
Yeah, I totally agree. And I think, the way you did it was the right way to do it, right? Like, it can be easy to get wrapped up. And I know I'm one of these people, right? When you guys, if you've been on any of our trainings where I talk about how I got started and back against the wall, what's up, Elle? Back against the wall, all that stuff, like, not having a way, like having no income coming in and being forced to just do it and get going. Like, I do not recommend that to people. Like, I tell that story because, that's just my experience, right? That's my experience. That's what happened. What else am I going to say? But I will tell you guys that came with it came with a lot of stress. It came with a lot of things that I think just I could have avoided had I done it the other way. Now, I was not smart enough to avoid that situation. So like I created that situation for myself, right?
Sometimes
And
you
then I
can't
had to work.
though. Sometimes you just can't.
Well,
Honestly.
yeah, sometimes, but there were definitely things I was doing that contributed to that. But the flip side of that is like doing it that way. It is. I mean, it was very super stressful, and you don't know if anything's going to work out. And I feel very grateful and fortunate that I just kept going, right? And eventually things started to work out. But yeah, I think that way of having some money put aside, preparing yourself, right, is super important. And as as I've gone along and we've started to grow, like I've been doing all that stuff, right? Like I'm doing that stuff now to make sure that I don't get in that situation again, right? Which is super important. I think two people that I consider to be like, bigger business minds, pretty smart guys. Dan Kennedy always talks about the scariest number in business is one. When you have just one of something, that's not where you want to be. So, never have just one of something, whether it's traffic source, whether it's laptop, whether it's email provider, whatever it is. Like one is the scary number that you have to look out for. And then John Carlton, he always talks about having the money. He calls it a not very nice term.
Go for it.
I can't. I'll initial it. He calls it FU money, right? And he said you should always set that up, that account, and that account is the thing that's like, this client's giving you issues, you fire him because you don't need them, right? Having that ability, that feeling of not needing the client changes the way you operate.
Yeah. Thank you, Dorn. Appreciate that, buddy.
Yeah.
Dorn, or who was it? Somebody else. It was either Dorn or Frank the Tank that was talking about YOLOing all their money on Dogecoin as a contingency plan, which could be good. Could be good. I actually, dude, Dorn, I'm not gonna derail this, but I took some profits on Dogecoin. I bought some a couple of years ago for $100, turning a couple $1,000. Pretty amazing.
Yeah. Well, my plan for like the things that I've tried to do, and if you look at the kind of just the actions I take, right? Like mine have always been building out off of what I'm already doing. And I'll give you a good example of that. So my agency, and then creating products, talking about what I'm doing in my agency, right? Because that came from exactly what we're talking about. Because I was building my agency, I was getting clients, everything was going along. I had this one window where I lost a bunch of clients, high paying clients. It was really super scary. And I realized how fragile it can be, right? So I continued to grow my agency, bring clients in, but that's what really got me started about, well, wait a minute. I'm really tied to clients. Like that's a failure point, right? Like I need them to be going. So I started thinking like, well, what can I do? What could I do that's using what I'm already doing to maybe bring in another source of revenue so that I'm not so tied to the clients? And since I had been interested in online marketing and doing that stuff before, I thought, oh, well, I'll create a course on how I'm getting clients, right? And I'll put that out there. And then, that turned into Offline Sharks. And as we've been growing Offline Sharks, right? I started the podcast because that's another thing, Nick and I, we spent a lot of time a couple of years ago, like figuring out, well, what would we do if something were to go terribly wrong with Offline Sharks, right? Like, and it was uncomfortable to do it at the time, wasn't it, Nick?
Oh, yeah.
It was like super uncomfortable, but it was better to do it when things were good than to try to hash all that stuff out when things are bad, right?
Yeah.
And emotions are high and everybody, just whatever, you just don't know what situation you could be in. So even though it's uncomfortable to kind of do that stuff, and you may feel like it's slowing you down in the short term, it's really not. And it pays off big in the long term, which is really why we're in this, right? The long term.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And that's, another great topic too, of managing risk, single point of failure, something that we've had to do in our business. And probably a lot of you that have partnerships Is it who has a partnership? Who has a partnership in their business? Maybe you have a founder or a co-founder or somebody. Maybe you're not even at like the actual. You haven't even made a business out of it yet. Maybe you just have like a handshake agreement at this point, right? You're like, hey, let's go out and get some customers together, or hey, if you build the websites, I'll go find them. Let me know in the comments on what types of deals you guys have. But eventually, I mean, if you get comfortable with it, you might want to think about getting some sort of partners or thinking about partnerships. And I know there's a lot of back and forth about that type of discussion. There are a lot of people in this mastermind that Tom and I are a part of that are like, partnerships are the worst thing ever. Don't do partnerships. You're getting married to somebody else, and blah 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 blah. And I don't disagree. You could 100% enter into a bad partnership, and you're also, anytime you're doing that, you're taking a risk on who you're partnering with, right? That's essentially what it is. But one of the ways that you manage that risk moving forward, when you set up some corporate structure, you become an LLC or however you form your business, is you can do, what Tom and I did a while back, which is what Tom is talking about, is create some sort of an operating agreement, right? Which is like, we put down, and it's actually funny, when Tom and I first started working together, we created like on a piece of like printer paper, like Nick and Tom are going to start doing online products together, and we are going to split, the work and the profits 50-50. And that was it. That was
like two paragraphs.
Right. And that was our agreement for up until like
2 years ago.
Not even that long ago.
2 years. That was our agreement. Yeah.
I think we had cracked 7 figures before we even changed that.
Yeah.
And the thing about that is like, we gradually got, more comfortable working with each other, and a lot of trust and stuff was built through that partnership. But eventually we decided to like put it in more in more clear terms and make it a little more official. So we created an operating agreement, which talks about how the company is set up, who's responsible for what happens if something happens to somebody. And what Tom was talking about is, that's a pretty uncomfortable conversation for anybody to have, because you basically have to put yourself in the position of like, all right, well, what if Nick dies? Like, what are you going to do, Tom? Like, who wants to think about that shit, right? It's easier to like avoid that. It's a lot easier to avoid that. And I remember those, those weeks, and, having to work with attorneys and things like that. It sucked, right? Mentally taxing. But, when you get through it and it's over, it's good. You manage the risk there. Everybody, hopefully you go through that process and you're able to come out the other side. And I'm sure some people go through that process. You could have a successful business and decide to do that, and then like not work together after that, right? You could be like, nope, this isn't going to work. Let's go our separate ways. But again, it's important. It's important to do those things. And some people, and I think these are the ones that we kind of subscribe to, that talk about anytime like you're really growing, like you're trying to grow a big business and really scale, you have to take on some sort of partnerships at some point, because there are just people out there that are good at things that you're not good at. And we know this on the more granular level, even just with like outsourcing, content writing, right? Like, I suck at writing content. I'm going to hire somebody to help me. That's some sort of a partnership, in a base level. But as you grow and you get bigger, you're going to want to take on more partnerships with other people that are strategic. And, you want to make sure that you have clear guidelines and boundaries and expectations and so that if anything should happen, you have something to go back to.
James said, do we have a mic agreement like when I copied your Sure Mic Awesomeness?
Yes, James. Thank you.
That is not in the operating agreement. No.
Thank you.
That's great.
The best one was when he wanted to get the Rhodes mic, but they ran out, so he had to get a different one.
Yeah. I have a deity. I don't really like it. Yeah. I haven't looked though to see. Yeah. Awesome. Hey, you know what we haven't done yet, Nick? We need to give away some Cash App money.
Let's do it. I've been liking this new format of just having a good topic and just What do you guys
we
think
can
about
keep doing
that?
that. But first, let's.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money. Money, money,
Dollar, dollar. Dollar, dollar. Cheating, cheating, bling, bling, got the chatter. You ain't talking money, then you're talking no matter.
Yeah. You're trashing my song there, Nick?
No,
Someone's
no,
probably
no.
like, what are these guys doing?
Yeah, they're laughing at us. Laughing at us. All right, you guys. We like to give away some Cash App money just to make things a little interesting on this live show. Also on all of our trainings, though, we always, throw out some Amazon gift cards, all sorts of goodies in the webinars and trainings and things that we do. So I have a question for you all. And the first person that gets it correct is going to get some Cash App money. So are you guys ready? Could you give us some likes on the stream? Let me know in the comments that you guys are ready. I see that Mike Jennings is still sad today. Dorn is happy, though, which I like to see. All right. Lots of comments coming in. So, all right. The question is, let me see.
Ooh, there's some good ones on that list.
What is the name of our monthly mentorship program called?
Ooh, that's a good one.
It's a good
We have
one.
some members on this call right now.
Yeah, we do. And you know why it's a good one? It's a good one because people join that mentorship program and they have results. They get results and they share about it and they talk about it and people actually get results. I mean, it's something that we're super proud of. I know a lot of programs out there they're not able to get results out of.
I see Dorn. I see a bunch of people, but I don't know who they are. Like, I don't know who I see. Dorn looks like he was the first, but then I don't know who these people are right underneath. It just says Facebook. I can't tell. Cameron, can you look on there and see who they are?
You guys got to log in.
Lots of people, though. Kristen got it. Andy got it. I mean, there's so.
Let's do this. Let's do this. Let's take the first. Let's take the first 2 people.
Okay, well, Dorn was one.
Okay.
And then I don't know who this is that's right under him.
Well, congrats, Dorn, and Facebook user. We'll have to look you up. Maybe.
I know they can look on the stream and see who it is.
Yeah, it's Kevin. Patty says Kevin. Dorn says skip him. All right, Dorn, we're gonna skip you. We appreciate that, dude. Let's go. We got Facebook user and Facebook user.
I don't know who those people are. Maybe Cameron's putting them in here. Hold on.
Okay. It's Wally Jackson and Chigo.
Awesome.
Congrats, you two. And Chigo was in the clubhouse the other day with us. It was great to hear about what she had going on. She just filled up her first 9x12.
That's awesome, Chigo.
Yeah.
That's awesome. We have one at the printers right now.
Yes, we do.
Yeah, that's real. Yeah, that's really great.
And we decided, you guys, to put an ad for our agency on there this time. We had like an extra ad space. Somebody backed out at the last second, so we're like, we'll just throw something on there for the agency, offering a discount on one of our services. So we'll show you guys the.
Here, I can show you right now. I know, because we did another thing that was a little different too. Hold on, let me pull these up.
You guys want to see our 9x12, our latest 9x12?
Hold on, let me pull up the front and the back.
People are like, wait, you guys actually do the products that you create and teach us how to do? You guys are actually doing those things? Oh, well.
We do actually do those things. Why does this not? It's not letting me. It doesn't let me show it like in one screen. Hold on. Let me see if I can. Here we go. I figured it out. Don't help me, Nick. I figured it out. Okay, so here, let me. Oh shoot, where did my thing go? Okay, here we go. So I'm going to share my screen again.
We're getting a lot of feedback of people saying, wow, gurus who do what they teach. We're not gurus. We're sharks.
No, that's right. Here, I'm going to share my screen here. I'm going to show you guys. You can see this. So here, let me just make this side a little smaller so you can see this. So this is one side. So there's a couple of things that you guys might notice. One is this is the ad we did for Nick's agency, like for the agency here, right? So we have that here. But then we also added this little box driving people to our AGM site. Claim your free business listing today. Visit hawaiithrive.com, or there's the number there, right? So this template, which we're going to be adding to CCSU, one of the things that I have to do in Hawaii is the shipping of the cards is super expensive. So if I have them printed and shipped to me, it costs more than it costs to print them. So I use Mid-Michigan mailers, and I use their full service option, which means they print them, they bundle them, and then they ship them directly to the post office. It saves me about $2,000 by doing that. So that's why you see this return address, and you also see the indicia over here looking a little different from some of the other templates, because to use the full service option, these have to be there, right? So that's why it's kind of arranged this way. And we have the logo down the side. So that's side number one. And then side number two is just normal, right? And yeah, so like this Maui Pokey, Denani Pirates, Thai Fusion, Maui Burgers, and Kraken, that was all one person. Like they own those 5 different restaurants. So that one person that we contacted bought these 5 ads. So that was a big win. And of course, we have the claim your free business listing on this side as well to drive people there. So yeah, so that's what our card looks like. It's at the printer right now. And again, I had our designer give me the PSD files for this, so we will add them to CCSU because I think they look better than the other 4 over templates that are in there. I used a different designer this time. He did great. I used Scott Meisner from the group. He did an excellent job.
What do you guys think? How's the card look? How's it look? I saw somebody asked, how long did it take you to fill it? And what if I told you guys that, how long did it take us, Tom?
It was like 4 days.
And what if I told you that we filled that car up in 4 days, but actually we didn't fill it up. We had an appointment setter who had never, maybe he knew about what we were doing for about a week or something like that, but new at this, never made appointment setting phone calls before, has never done a mailer, has never done any of that stuff, come in and fill up that card in 4 days and run the whole giving it to our fulfillment team, sending it to Mid-Michigan, all that stuff, right?
Yeah, handling all the ad designs, everything. Did it all.
So what if I tell you guys that that's something that we've been doing behind the scenes? We've actually been documenting that whole process, like case study style. And
you guys are going to love it.
Yeah, that's something that, would that be something that you guys would be interested in hearing more about? Like just that real world case study of how we're doing that. But now that the card is full, now we have them doing appointment setting for other services, other things like, SEO, websites, giving out listings.
Yeah. And I see a couple of questions I can answer there too. So Matthew said all from AGM. So no, Matthew. So initially when we did this, our goal was just to fill the card. So we weren't tying it into AGM. We were just reaching out to people directly, asking them if they wanted to be on the card for the mailer. We do have a process that we use this with AGM where like you do the business verification method. And then at the end, you just say, hey, by the way, we're doing a mailer, but this mailer filled up so fast. We didn't even have to do that. Like we just reached out to businesses directly and they jumped in. Somebody asked if they're repeat. There are a couple of businesses on here that have done mailers with me in the past, but it's been a really, really long time. Like they haven't been on in a while. It was just a matter of reaching out to them. And they had never, like, it wasn't me reaching out to them. That's another important part. Like it was a different person. We branded it under Hawaii Thrive. It wasn't even the same brand. So it wasn't like Tom calling them up and being like, because my card, I branded under Decline Coupons. and we wanted to do this one under Hawaii Thrive. So like they were being called up by somebody's name they didn't recognize, a brand that they hadn't done a mailer on before, right? And still 4 days. So it was really awesome.
Who was doing it, you guys, by the way? He was doing it all wrong when we first gave him the instruction. Like the calls he was making and stuff like that, like it was not what we wanted, but we had to adjust and correct and things changed. So, and that's the kind of information I'm talking about that we're working on and systemizing and putting together for you guys. But yeah, the point that I want to make and that I want to stress is that a lot of times we think that we have to have like some former Grant Cardone salesperson to be on the phone to get appointments or sell ad spaces, but really you just need a good script and some strategy and some information that works, right? Like from somebody that's actually doing it. That's probably one of the most important parts. You don't want to get information from somebody that's not doing it. You want like the real truth of the matter, and then you can take that and implement it for yourself.
Yeah, well, and the biggest, most important thing is you actually have to make the calls, even if you don't know what you're doing.
This is a good question, though. This is a good question.
Oh,
phone,
yes.
Email, and text.
Yeah, no in person.
0.
No in person at all. Yeah, and I saw somebody said like they put the mailer on hold for COVID. Like you should be doing it. Like Scott, who did the design for us, he filled 18 mailers, 18 mailers in 2020. That means all through COVID, he just kept doing them and they were still going out. Like that was not it's a great thing to do right now, right? Like that shouldn't be the thing that is stopping you. And, a little tip, if you guys just want to see like, well, would something like that work in my area? One thing you could do is just reach out to businesses and be like non-committal. And by that, what I mean is just reach out to them and say, hey, I'm thinking about doing a mailer to 10,000 residents here to drum up business for local businesses like yours. If I do that, would you be interested? And if you get enough people saying yes, they might ask you things like, well, what would it cost? What does that look like? Just tell them, say, well, it'd be, $500 for an ad space. We do all the ad design. Like, and if they say, yeah, we're interested, then freaking just do one, right? Just do one. Cool. Couple things, Nick, we got to do here real quick.
Yep.
One is we need to do the what is Tom reading section. And every week I recommend a book. And you can find them at offlinesharks.com/books, all the ones we recommend. And the one that I'm recommending today, I actually don't have with me, Nick. It's there in the office on the other side, but I can tell you guys what it is. And I can't believe it's one we haven't recognized before. It's actually, I took it to the office to give it to our appointment setter. It's the one, you know which one I'm talking about? It's How to Win Friends and Influence People. It's on my bookshelf there. But I actually took it to the office to give to our appointment setter to read because I thought it would help them with some of the stuff, right? I know sometimes we get so wrapped up in the new things that are out there, it's easy to overlook the proven stuff. And this book, by the way, for just general selling, being able to write, like persuasive writing, being able to talk to people in a persuasive way, without sounding salesy, this book is great. I mean, it's a classic for a reason, right? So Dale Carnegie's How to Win Friends and Influence People. That's our book this week.
It's so funny. When I first read this book, I thought I was going to like figure out how to get more friends, but I still don't have any friends.
Well, that's a good one. It's a good one. Yeah, that's a good one. So that's what I'm reading this week. Also, too, we've been talking about being prepared, and I want to talk about this real quick, and then we want to do our member of the week. So one of the things when it comes to being prepared, and we talk about those events that could take you down, right, or could take your clients down, one of the big things is your website, right? For your clients, maybe not for you necessarily, but for clients for sure. Issues with their websites being hacked, something that's like, it's really, has been an issue that's kind of moved to the forefront in 2020 with more people being at home, more sites getting hacked, all that stuff. And a little while ago, we did an actual training with Nick's brother on how to be prepared for that, how to keep your site from getting hacked, how to prepare your clients' sites. We called it Website Security Blueprint. And the training is awesome. And you guys can actually go watch it. So it hasn't been available for a little bit, but it is now. So if you go to offlinesharks.com/prepared, you can watch the training we did where Nick and his brother went over the strategy, how to stay prepared, how to make sure you don't run into those issues. It was really awesome. What did we call it? Something Cybergeddon. Wasn't it Cybergeddon?
Yeah, the Cybergeddon.
Yeah, the Cybergeddon. Yeah.
But it's true. Like, I've had a lot of sleepless nights trying to figure out how to bring these websites back up that I've screwed over or somebody has hacked or, just haven't had the right backup plan. But yeah, I mean, my brother is a cyber operator in the Air Force. He's basically a hacker for the U.S. government. And we had him on for training, and we talked shop a little bit. Him and his he has a separate business called Black Harbor that he and another former Air Force buddy, where they help, bigger corporations secure their businesses and their online presence. So we had them on, and yeah, you guys should go check out that training, offlinesharks.com/prepared. And it's on demand, so you can watch it now or after this live.
Yeah. You guys will, you'll like it. It's really good. Really, really good. So highly recommend you go check that out. And then let's do our member of the week. So every week we call somebody out for just being an awesome group member, for contributing, for sharing what they're doing, for helping other people out. And this week's member of the week, I love the name. That should give you a hint.
I hope he's still hanging out.
That should give you a hint. I hope he's still here. But this week's member of the week is our friend Mark Bustamante. Congratulations, Mark. Congratulations.
Mark, are those Maui Gyms? Be honest.
It looks like Maui Gyms, doesn't it? It does.
They look like some Maui Gym sunglasses.
Yeah, I love my Maui Gym sunglasses. Yeah, Mark, congratulations. Somebody from our team is going to reach out to you. You got some special Offline Shark swag coming your way. I really appreciate everything you contribute to the Facebook group, all the value you bring there, helping people out, just being a good person in the group, right? We love that. We love to celebrate that. So congratulations, Mark.
Congrats, Mark. You guys, could you tag Mark and congratulate him, especially for that? I mean, that post that he made the other day about how he started, I think it was 6 months ago, and he's already up to about 25,000, which is freaking no easy feat and amazing to see. There he is. He's here. Congrats, Mark. Yes, sir.
Yeah, here, let me stop sharing this. Hold on. I'm going to ask. Camera is asking about. No, we'll do that later. We're good. Okay. So we got our member of the week. Do you want to do one more Cash App and then?
Well, what I was going to do is I already got the picks from our team for everybody that was on the beginning of the live show that went ahead and commented and liked on the shout out post that we did. So everybody that got a shout out this week, we asked at the beginning of the show. So you guys do want to show up live at the beginning of the show to be a part of that, because you might have missed your opportunity. But I already got the heads up, and I think these guys are brothers. So the next two Cash App giveaways are from Mark Jarvis and Noah Jarvis. I don't know if they're brothers.
Congratulations, guys.
Yeah.
Whew, some Cash App money coming your way. Here, let's play the jingle one more time. I just love hearing it.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money. Money, money, money.
Dollar, dollar. Dollar, dollar. Ching, ching, bling, bling, chatter. You ain't talking money, then you're talking no matter.
Look at
What do you think?
How's
that?
Oh my god, that was great.
Put on my good face there.
That was so good.
Awesome. Well, man, what a great live show, guys. It was really awesome. Great engagement. I loved everything we talked about. Definitely go check out offlinesharks.com/prepared. Watch the Cybergeddon training. It's really, really good. A lot of good advice in there that you can implement, not just for you, but also for your clients as well. And it's a pretty hot issue right now. And if you guys have any questions about anything, make sure you post them in the Facebook group. Put your wins in there. And we'll be here next Friday. Same Shark time, same Shark channel. Yeah, that's right. If you ain't talking money, you ain't talking, don't matter.
That's it. That's the ultimate tagline right there. I'm gonna have to throw that on my Instagram, I think.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, we appreciate you guys being here. Stay safe out there. Practice Aloha. We'll see you next Friday on the next edition of the Aloha Friday Marketing Jam session. See you guys later.
You've been listening to the Sharks Live Show, your weekly local marketing jam session. Every week, packed full of local marketing strategy, tactics, tips, and fun. Don't forget to like, comment, and share this stream. You can stay up to date throughout the week with Nick's YouTube videos at nickponte.com/YouTube and Tom's podcast at tomgaddis.com. We'll be back here next Friday for another Sharks Live Show. Until then, aloha.